There's a version of life that looks fine from the outside. You go to work, you come home, you pour a glass of wine, put something on the TV, and before you know it, the day is over. And then you do it again. I lived like that for a while, and the strange thing is, I wasn't unhappy exactly. I just had this persistent feeling of being slightly outside of my own life, watching it pass rather than actually living it. I tried the obvious fixes: more travel, more plans, more things to look forward to, but none of it really fixed that feeling. There's a creative well inside all of us, an inner source of energy and aliveness, and it doesn't fill itself. You have to fill it. And for a long time, I just wasn't. I kept drawing from it to give energy to my work, to my responsibilities, to consuming other people's content without ever putting anything back into it. And eventually that leaves you with this feeling of a kind of emptiness. I found that what actually fills it is going into new environments and having new experiences, new things to make, new places to be, new things to learn. And it sounds simple, and actually it is quite simple. That's kind of the whole point. So this week I paid attention to the moments when I felt my creative well filling up, and I wanted to share what they were with you. I've been going to these creative workshops every Sunday through a little project that my friend is putting together called Meander Collective here in Berlin. So last weekend we did monoprinting, which was very cool. And today we're doing ink drawing, and then next week we're doing ceramics. So I think it's been really fun to have these little creative get-togethers every weekend. So I will bring you along. Every Sunday I show up somewhere new, spend a couple of hours making something with my hands, completely off my phone, and walking out feeling genuinely full. There's something special about making art with your hands in an entirely new way. Afterwards, I somehow see the world differently. Now I look at an art print in this style and actually understand how it came to be. This week, Jeff and I took a spontaneous trip to Leipzig. We arrived with no plan, wandered through streets we didn't know, and found ourselves in a beautiful art museum that happened to be free. I think we underestimate what it does to us to stand in front of someone else's art, to look at what another person felt moved to make, the choices they made, what they chose to express. It always makes me want to go home and make something of my own. That's the creative well being filled in real time. I've also found that I can fill my well by simply being more present. I've been noticing the first flowers beginning to appear all around the city, little bits of color on branches that were bare just weeks ago. I grew up in California, so this catches me by surprise every spring. After all those months of gray and cold, seeing nature begin to bloom again feels like such a miracle. A reminder that the world is always slowly changing. I think there's something very important in learning to notice that. To walk the same street you always walk and actually look around you. To let yourself be moved by the small things. It doesn't cost you anything, but it makes the ordinary feel special. Which is maybe why one of my favorite rituals is taking myself to a cafe, ordering something that feels like a small treat, and sitting there for an hour with a book or my journal. There's no agenda, just time that belongs entirely to me. And the things that surface during that kind of unhurried, unstructured time, they consistently surprise me. A small change of environment and space to be present is sometimes all it takes. None of these experiences were expensive or hard to make time for, but they all left me feeling a little more full. And I've come to believe that this is the true measure of how I want to spend my time, not by how productive it was or how impressive it looked, but whether or not it filled my creative well. It might take some time to figure out what fills your well specifically, but once you do figure it out, it's something that you want to make time for. An ordinary life doesn't have to feel ordinary. I tried to fix that emptiness with bigger, more impressive things, but the antidote was never a bigger life. It was just about becoming more present and letting in a little bit of novelty and creativity along the way. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye!